Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Blue Lotus Gardens. In today's video, we're keeping it pink with Philodendron Pink Princess, growth updates, and how I rescued my Philodendron Pink Princess from going from this to this. If you like plant content, backyard farming, sustainable living tips, I recommend subscribing down below. This is my plant channel. Welcome. My name is Blue Phoenix. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Let's get on with today's video. Alright, the Philodendron Pink Princess is from the family of the Araceae, and it is native to Colombia. It receives a really big hype for its pink foliage. That's the type of variegation it produces. Variegation, there's different types of variegation. You can also check out my blog. I wrote a little bit about how I went from the process of growing it, so starting it out, activating it, and then continuing its growth. So if you like to read about it, you're more than welcome to read about it on the description down below. And in the video, we'll just talk about the plant, and then also share a little bit of how it looks and just more of its description. So what I did, here it is. Here is my Philodendron Pink Princess. It does have this nice little leaf that is probably going to go away, but give it some time. Patience is definitely key in this. So in my blog, I speak about how I went from identifying if it has a node, how to activate it, and basically now it is, it's putting out this new leaf, and it has a new little tiny foliage in there as well. I'll put some B-roll in there, but this plant is a collector, like a collector's plant. Everybody must have this plant, right? And I personally wanted this plant as well, but I wanted it to be a little bit more special. Supporter of us has donated it, and then because they didn't know if it was going to grow or not, and because it didn't have a specific node on there. And so what I did in order to identify it, I went from a process of sphagnum moss, perlite, soil, and that's my process. And I speak a bit more about it on the blog. It's just how I identify and troubleshoot it. It's from my found knowledge. I just know from aeroids, the way they go, the way they work, if your plant might not look like it will survive, is to go from sphagnum to perlite to soil. But that's for me. That's how I did it, and that's how it worked for myself. But it is definitely something to try out. The process took about maybe, I would say, like 2 months, I would say, to get it to this point, because I did have to chop it off a little bit because it was rotting off in the bottom. And so when it starts to rot off in the bottom, you might get a little worried, and that's okay. Just trim off as much as you can of the rotting part, and then place some cinnamon onto the exposed area, and then that way it won't receive any contamination. I've done this on my Florida Beauty as well, and I'll show y'all updates. I'm currently growing it out from a little bitty stump. So from what I want you all to get from this is, like, plants are tough and they really want to grow, and they want to share that growth with us. We just kind of have to help them out along the way. And I think that's why a lot of people just like sharing their knowledge with a lot of people. Is just we all want, I think I personally want everybody to succeed in growing their own plant and feeling successful. It was so rewarding opening up that grow tent. I do keep it in a grow tent, and just seeing it thrive, because it was, like I said, it didn't have a node. So I was really worried that it wasn't going to survive, and I just wanted it to really survive because I wanted a pink princess, because I want to really just learn more about variegation. Like, and so I also was gifted a Albo, and so I'm definitely going to share that knowledge with you all on my blog and on my plant channel. I think it's great to share this knowledge with us and then also interact. I have grown so much from you all, sharing your knowledge with me and then my knowledge with you all. I am not great at growing vegetables, and I've learned how to grow vegetables because of other people. And there was a customer of mine, really cool customer, and helped me understand how to grow peppers. I feel more comfortable in growing them. I've been growing them from seed, and they're doing well. And I'm just really happy to be able to like grow that, because then I can eventually share those peppers with you all, and also that knowledge. But you also want to keep it in a higher humidity environment, and when you're keeping it in sphagnum moss, you don't want to I always recommend, it's when I recommend something, it's like a general recommendation. So I recommend like not watering your sphagnum moss. Like I don't think you should water your sphagnum moss like that, because from my experience, I've known that it will produce rot of the plant, especially if they're just starting out. So you just kind of like want to water that moss first, rinse it all out without the propagations in it, of course, and then from there you want to place your propagations, allow them to just grow in there until it's like really dried out. And from my experience, I've learned that to be the easiest way. I personally enjoy having them in little plastic cups and sphagnum moss. I feel less worried about it, especially with everything now going on at our plant shop. So be something for y'all to see, and I'll talk more about it on my blog. I just really am enjoying what's going on and sharing all this with you all. But then I also went from sphagnum moss to perlite. So from sphagnum moss to perlite was when I later allowed it to callus. So from that point, I allowed it to callus. I placed it into perlite, and in like a 2-week period, I then moved it towards soil, and here we are. I think it's just great seeing this grow. I have a red Congo, but this is like a top cutting of a Philodendron pink princess that, like I said, a supporter of ours, a big supporter, donated this because their cat knocked it off, and so it's crazy how things like that happen. It just, look at that little like pink speckle right there. That's the newest growth on it. So I have grow lights from Amazon and then also Lowe's, and so I keep it in the section where it's with I keep it in the grow light section. I keep it in the section that the grow lights were from Lowe's, because they're closer to it, and so it allows me to have a more closer light source towards it, but then I move it away as now it has new growth from it, because you don't want to cause leaf burn on it. So I'm really excited to see this. This is like a 1 month I'm gonna say a 1 month update. And so I am going to come back and to this maybe like 3 months, see how it is. Hopefully I could take propagations and, you know, and make more. I love this, and I have like a whole bunch of other Syngoniums and Hoyas that I want to show y'all, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching my little video, and then also joining us on our blog, reading about it, and then and also becoming a member. And memberships are free, and you can join and interact with us in different groups as well. You all have an amazing day. Happy holidays to you all. Bye everyone.